With football around the corner, time to start building up that bankroll. And we want to help by slashing the cost of all daily picks packages priced at $25 or more, including 5% best bets through the end of July. This amazing promotion runs from Tuesday, July 12th to midnight on Sunday, July 31st, and drops the pricing down to $25 daily packages for $12.50, $29 daily combo packages for $14.50, and $35 5% best bets for $17.50. But even better, this is the perfect time to take advantage of our one-day all-access pass. This package locks in the handicapper of your choice for one whole day for only $39, including when they have a 5% top play that usually sells for $35. But during our 50% slash promotion, you get a one-day all-access for only $19.50. We know this business is loaded with competitors and copycats, and we are very proud and extremely excited to be one of, if not, the premier sports betting information provider in North America. Our special discount pricing goes live on Tuesday, runs through the end of the month, does not require a coupon, and is available just by going to your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo Handicappers homepage right now.
Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today. I'm Lawrence Presman, my co-host today, Andrew McGinnis, and you're watching the best daily sports show on the sports betting show on the planet. Andrew, we got Rob Veno. He's coming on. He's talking a couple of baseball games, Skee Profit as well, and Jimmy Adams. A lot of baseball today, but you are going to do a big game breakdown on the CFL. How are you, brother?
Doing very well, Prez. And, I think a lot of people were talking about how they were looking forward to a little break. But then once that break came in sports, that 1 or 2 days, everybody was really anxious to come back and have more games to bet on. So, so here we are. Yeah, actually, I heard you say you wish we had a whole month off. You want the whole month off or no sports?
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy my sports, don't get me wrong, but man, 3 days does not feel like enough. And especially when 2 of them was, we did shows on the home run derby and on the actual MLB game, which I don't even know who won. Who won that game?
The AL won again. They keep on winning.
Well, there you go. Good. That means if the Blue Jays have a chance to get there, they'll get home field advantage. Rob Veno joining us. Robert, would you like more time off, or are you happy with 3 days all year?
Oh, I would love more time off, Prez. I don't see why you wouldn't. 3 days goes by so quick. I think the majority of us don't even pay attention to that All-Star game like you were saying. I think we just, if we're not doing something else, we're trying to focus in and jam a little football research and preparation into those 3 days. That's what I've used them for years. So, yeah, you would love more than 3 days in my case, Prez, for sure.
Yeah, and especially considering you spent those days working. So it is not much of a vacation, Andrew. I know you're a young guy with a whole lot of energy, but no. 3 days doesn't work. What's up with your hair, dude? What's going on over here?
Don't ask me. I was trying to figure it out myself. It's a bad day to ask me that. So wrong time of the day, I guess. But hey, I'm clean shaven, Prez. What about you, man? You growing out a beard or what?
Dude, I'm lazy as shit. Rob Veno,
you always have time to have your coffee, though, Prez. You always have time to have that, whatever you drink every day.
Double shot and espresso. Rob, Houston playing Seattle tonight. Houston minus 128 is the total. How do we bet this game?
Well, I'm going to try full game, and I'm going to go with the hot side, Seattle. And I know the layoff, I don't know. I guess it's going to be 2020 hindsight, right, Prez? Was the layoff good for the Mariners to kind of recharge as they headed into the All-Star break on a 14-game winning streak? Or, is it disruptive, and will it cause them to play a little bit worse here? But I think that what's disruptive is the doubleheader that Houston had to play yesterday against the Yankees. They only got 1 day off, right? I think Alex Bregman was on the All-Star team. They didn't have a multitude of All-Stars, but still 1 day off, back to the grind, 2 big ones against the Yankees, win them both. And then as it is for most teams, the travel to the Pacific Northwest is the most difficult of all. At least it's the furthest amount of mileage traveled. So for Houston, it's not an ideal situation whatsoever. You're coming into a park where the team is full of confidence. It's a nationally televised game tonight, and I would expect the crowd in Seattle to be pretty live on a Friday night. So, like I say, difficult situation here for the Houston Astros. If I look at their bullpen real quick, one of their best arms, Rafael Montero, did have to throw both games in that doubleheader yesterday. So I don't know if he would be available here tonight. I think one other, or maybe the biggest thing, Prez, in the handicap here was the pitching matchup for Marco Gonzalez against the Houston lineup this year. It's been good. 20 and a third innings pitched over the course of 3 starts, a 1.02 whip and a 2.7 ERA. Gonzalez has been good against the Astros. Jose Urquidy, the Mariners have been a nightmare for him. 3 starts this season. He's only made it through 13 total innings in those 3 starts, a 2.77 whip, not an ERA. 2.77 whip. He's putting on almost 3 guys per inning against this team. 10.39 ERA. He's allowed 36 base runners in 13 innings, faced 75 batters, so it's a decent season sample size. He's just had difficulty with this lineup. As I mentioned, huge series for Seattle. I do want to single out here full game plus price on my end because I trust the Seattle bullpen at this point in time. There's a quartet that maybe the nation isn't familiar with, right? But I'll go through the names here. Eric Swanson, Paul Sewald, Diego Castillo, Andres Munoz. The month of July, those 4 guys combined, 29 and a third innings pitched, only 2 earned runs allowed, a 0.61 ERA, a 0.88 whip. You trust the back end, 7, 8, and 9 to be sealed shut by these guys at this point in time. So plus price at home with a team that's fading a team that's in a bad situation. I'm going to try Seattle plus price here, full game.
Well, absolutely, Rob. I think you mentioned it. The situation for the Astros couldn't be any worse. The traveling and playing the doubleheader. You touched on this, but I have to kind of follow up and just ask, is there anything about the momentum of them being successful in both those games in a big opportunity against the Yankees? Is there any part of that would worry you, or because it's a road game, because they played a doubleheader? Seattle was hot, of course, beforehand. But to me, the only thing I would really say is that they won both games. They won it in different ways. They are riding, pretty hot hand right now. Does that worry you at all, or just based on the bullpen usage, doubleheader, and travel, and the price we're getting, it's just a spot here for Seattle?
Yeah, I think it's a concern, Andrew. I would say my concern, and of course the positives outweighed the negatives here. That's why I'm on Seattle. But the negative, or the positive, if you're looking at the Astros here, is that they've closed the gap for number 1 seed in the American League to 2.5 games with those 2 wins against the Yankees. Just say, 2 weeks ago, people are searching for Yankee season over-under wins that have been adjusted. Oh, they're going to win more than 116 games. And you would think the Yankees are absolutely running away with the American League. But after yesterday, like I say, Houston's only 2.5 games back. So they've got a reason to play as well. But I do think all the other stuff that stacks up against them, or Urquidy's nightmares against this team, situation, travel, everything added up, I would prefer the underdog price here with Seattle. I'll take my shot.
Rob Veno joining us. Rob, what do you got going for the clients today before we get into your next game?
We got a 4% Major League Baseball best bet. WagerTalk.com up and available. You can get that right now. We're also, Prez, real quick, I'll squeeze this in. I'm going to post, I think it's 4 total college football season over-under win totals over the course of the weekend, so that it'll still fit inside the month of July special half price type deal. You can get those 4 season over-under win totals up and available this weekend at WagerTalk.com. Nice.
Awesome. Rob Veno, everyone, exclusive handicapper, WagerTalk.com. Rob, one of our listeners writes, you bet and you want a month of no sports? Yeah, like people work and then they want a month of not working. Like, I don't understand how this is like shocking to people. You know, it's not like we just wake up in the morning and bet. We study. We spend hours. I mean, Rob, in all seriousness, how many hours a day you handicap?
Yeah, it's got to be about 10 and a half, 11. I mean, I'll put it into terms of this, Prez, to do this 20-minute segment with you and Andrew here this morning, it probably takes me 3.5 hours prep time to do 20 minutes to make sure I got all my T's crossed out. And then, we're also doing that research to, put plays up for clients. So it's an all-day affair. It's an everyday affair. We got families like everybody else. Give us a break right here.
Yeah. I mean, Rob's got kids and a wife, a penis that needs taken care of. Like, come on. Jeez. Give the guy a freaking break, man. And how many hours a day you handicap?
I'm up pretty much all night. That's actually when I do a lot of my work for the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have kids. I have a girlfriend, but I'm not married. I'm up, till a lot of times 3:30, 4 in the morning, looking at the next day's card. Then of course, 5-6 hours the next day during the day. And just like Rob said, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that when we're doing a segment, like we did our Prop It Up show, myself, Andy Lang, and Matt Joseph, we're doing a segment each week. Our segments might be 10 to 15 minutes long, each of us, but the prep time for those, like Rob just talked about, it's not 10 to 15 minutes of preparation. We're researching for hours to try and find those winners. And it's like you just said, Prez, we don't just wake up and bet.
Yeah.
We're actually putting in the work, doing the content, doing the shows. Yeah. So Prez, when I say that, I'm a sports fan. I'm also we're creatures of habit. So when I said it felt weird without games, it literally, to me, felt weird not having anything to watch or to research, just like Rob said, for me, I was getting into NFL stuff because I found myself with nothing to break down. I'm used to breaking down the MLB card and I couldn't do it.
Well, listen, I'm more than happy to not break down games for a couple of days. I don't get the shakes. Oh my God, I haven't broken a game down. Oh no. Anyway, Kenneth, nice words. Thank you. Rob Veno, Chicago White Sox. They're hosting Cleveland. You've got a bet for us on this game. What is it?
Like the White Sox, first 5 innings, Prez. I'm going to narrow it down to the starting pitching matchup, Lucas Giolito against Cal Quantrill. Let me just start off by saying, and Andrew and I were co-host last week and discussed a little bit about the White Sox and certain affection I have for them to kind of have a second half push here. So some of that figures into the handicap here. White Sox closed on a 7-3 run heading into the All-Star break. They'll be almost back at full health tonight. Last Friday when we talked, they were minus Eloy Jimenez, who had just gotten hurt a couple of days before after missing 70-plus games. They expect him back in this lineup tonight, which would almost make them whole, minus maybe Yasmani Grandal at catcher is the only starter that you would have seen in the preseason, on the preseason roster starting lineup. So they're pretty good health right now. Giolito, he went sideways for a while, like a lot of these starting pitchers do. You got to try and catch them when they're hot and fade them when they're cold. That's probably the bulk of major league pitching. But for Giolito, 3 of the last 4 have been quality starts, 19 innings total, 1.42 ERA, 105 WHIP, 19-4 strikeout to walk ratio, 5-1, which is really good. And it's more in line with the type of pitcher that he is. Against Cleveland, 2 starts, including one on July 13th, very, very recent. He's been great. 13 2/3 innings pitch, only 1 earned run, 0.90 WHIP. That's overall, guys. We're betting first 5 here. So let's just talk about what he's done first 5 innings against Cleveland this season. Both starts, 0 runs allowed. Cleveland hasn't scored in the first 5 innings against him either time this year. So I think, you got a pretty good idea of how good he's been against this lineup. For Cal Quantrill, don't want to reference his dad there. 2 starts against the White Sox as well, but it hasn't gone as well. 5.84 ERA, 1.46 WHIP. Giolito against this Guardian lineup this year, just to put it into simple numbers, 50 plate appearances by the Guardians, only 13 base runners and a 260 on-base percentage. I think that bodes well here. And when I'm going to play against the Guardians, I just like to see how the pitcher does against Jose Ramirez. because to me, Cleveland is centered around one offensive piece and the rest kind of feed off of him. Jose Ramirez against Lucas Giolito for a career, only 8 for 31, only has 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles, and a home run. So I think he should be good here. Again, I don't want to get the White Sox bullpen involved in the mix quite yet. They're better on paper than they've been on the field. So let's wait till they get to be good on the field again. So I'm going to play White Sox first 5 minus half a run. I think the number I saw was minus 110. So pretty much straight vig.
Andrew?
So Rob, like you mentioned, we spoke together last week, and you were very confident and looking forward to taking advantage of betting on this White Sox team in the second half of the season. And, a lot of times we say that in the NFL, NHL, NBA, this team for me is going to be a bet on team. I'm curious if you can kind of describe to our audience kind of what that means for you, if it's just still certain pitchers you're looking to back on the team, certain spots. And, when you say you're, looking at a bet on team, are you still looking at certain scenarios? We hate the term auto bet, of course, and you just gave us some great information. Right. But when you look at, a bet on team, guys, this is a team I want to look towards in the second half of the season. How often are you looking at them and saying, you know what, the odds I'm getting are a lot shorter than I think they should be, and you're taking advantage of them? Do you expect to be on the White Sox quite a bit coming up here?
I probably will, but it's a great point because baseball is different, right, Andrew? Because you're only as good as your next day's starting pitcher, which that's not the case in basketball. The same guys, 5 guys are on the floor. Football, unless you have an injured quarterback, the same players are on the field. Here, when the White Sox have Dylan Cease on the hill, you're automatically there. He's been that good. When Lance Lynn is on the hill, you might want to sit back that day. Lance Lynn hasn't been as good. Giolito's been fine. The majority of staff has been fine. I think the biggest difference we'll see here is in the offense and the offensive production. And when you look to the second half and try to make a projection, a move before maybe the odds makers, maybe the rest of the betting public catches up, I like to look at some quotes from inside the clubhouse. And the majority of the White Sox talk about still being united after the numerous slew of injuries that they have suffered through. And the fact that despite everything that went wrong, they're only 3 games out of first place at this point in time, the team that was favored to win the division. So you would expect them now with that mindset and in this type of health to put some things together. I think it starts here tonight with Lucas Giolito.
There we go. Robert, great work, man. I can't remember. You coming to the meet and greet?
I am, Prez. I weaseled out of my niece's wedding to get there. So, yes, I will be there. Absolutely. But let me ask you this. Did you miss my kid in Toronto? They went through Toronto already. You missed Grayscale.
Yeah, well, he never called. We were going to put him on pickle jar. I called him back, and he just went dark. But that's fine because we got meetings with some big dudes today and Monday. Oh, I'm so excited about it. Yeah, new business. I invested a bunch of money in Pickle Jar. Take a look at it, guys. Rob, you've promoted. You've given your picks out. We've gazed into your eyes. Get the hell out of here. Andrew McGinnis, get ready for your big game breakdown, brother. Guys, we'll be right back with Andrew's big game breakdown, Skee Profit, and Jimmy Adams.
With football around the corner, time to start building up that bankroll. And we want to help by slashing the cost of all daily picks packages priced at $25 or more, including 5% best bets through the end of July. This amazing promotion runs from Tuesday, July 12th to midnight on Sunday, July 31st, and drops the pricing down to $25 daily packages for $12.50, $29 daily combo packages for $14.50, and $35 5% best bets for $17.50. But even better, this is the perfect time to take advantage of our one-day all-access pass. This package locks in the handicapper of your choice for one whole day for only $39, including when they have a 5% top play that usually sells for $35. But during our 50% slash promotion, you get a one-day all-access for only $19.50. We know this business is loaded with competitors and copycats, and we are very proud and extremely excited to be one of, if not, the premier sports betting information provider in North America. Our special discount pricing goes live on Tuesday, runs through the end of the month, does not require a coupon, and is available just by going to your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo Handicappers homepage right now.
All right, guys, let's jump into a little big game breakdown here. Canadian football edition, Friday night lights here. We have the Edmonton Elks taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Blue Bombers, back-to-back Grey Cup champions, a team that is pretty much picking up where they left off last season. They're undefeated and putting up points every single week. Meanwhile, Edmonton, they're bottom feeders in this league, but they continue to keep things close and putting up points themselves. We're looking at the total in this one, total at 48 here. And I'm looking at the over. Take a look at the Edmonton Elks, some games they played. And they started their season off in a game where they got absolutely blown out, 59-15. But since then, they've competed in games. They've, put up points themselves. But realistically, guys, whether it's them putting the points up or their opponent, they are consistently involved in high-scoring games. We've seen them in 32-31 type games, 29-25. And winning points every single week. They gave up 49 points against the Calgary Stampeders. So the Blue Bombers, a team known to have really strong defense, I feel like their deep flip this year. It's still a strong, defense, and they have a great pass rush. But I feel like overall, their defense has kind of slid. We've seen their secondary just be lower than they were last year. And Edmonton is playing here. I expect a great offensive performance from them. And Winnipeg just had back-to-back big games. Could be a slight letdown spot for them. I do expect them to give up some points. Expect a really entertaining one tonight in the Canadian Football League. Look over the total, Edmonton and Winnipeg over 48.
Good luck with that play, Andrew McGinnis. Chuck Pod writes, what happened to the Eskimos? Woke happened to the Eskimos. Skee Profit joining us. Hakeem, how are you, brother? It's been a while. That's mostly my fault. I haven't been around.
I'm doing all right. Yeah. Nice to see you back. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself wherever you were, whatever you were doing. And let's get some winners.
I had a blast, man, and we'll see you at the meet and greet. You getting your 3-point shot ready? I think Jay Money has to go down.
Yeah, I told Kelly, I got to pass on the golfing because I got to redeem myself in the 3-point contest this year. So I'll be ready this go round.
It's funny because I try to golf a lot. I mean, I'm obsessed with golf, and I'm not playing golf there for a few reasons. One, I don't want to play in the heat. Two,
that's probably the main reason.
I don't want to be stuck with 3 people for 5 hours. I don't know which 3 those people are going to be, but I'm going down to meet and hang out with everybody.
I hear you.
And 4, I can
nice recovery, Prez. Nice recovery on that. You don't want to be stuck with 3
there.
Three
they
people.
Didn't send out a list of who the 3 were. I mean, I'm sure I could pick, but even if I picked, I'd get bored of them in 1 hour and want to move on.
Fair enough.
Skee, let's get into it, man. Colorado playing Milwaukee today. Where are we going here? Burns or Senzel? I can't even. I'm off today.
It's all good. No worries. And today's a little bit different for me too, because a lot of how I cap in general in all sports is recent performance. And we just had a short break for All-Star. So I'm not going to look too much at, how teams have been doing recently. It's going to be more of year long. And Burns, he's a guy I always want to back. 2.14 ERA on the year. And Senzatella on the road, especially, is a fade. On the year, I have him 4.95, but on the road, it goes up to 6.86. I look at the Brewers this year versus righties. They're 9th weighted runs created plus compared to Colorado. They don't hit righties. You want them at home versus lefties. On the road, they don't even have what are they? The road, they are, 15-27. I think that's what I have here. And they've been playing good lately. I think they've won 7 of their last 10 games, but I think 8 of those games were at the house. So I want to back Burns here. It's just a matter of which way do I want to do it. It's pricey on the full game. The first 5, he's hit 5 of the last 6. I think he's won 9 of the last 12. Starts full game. And Sensatella, he's won 6-1 in the first 5, 0-3-1 on the road. So I wanted to fade him on the -0.5, but it's -165. So I know Hader and a couple of the bullpen guys weren't great before All-Star, but I think maybe a little bit of extra rest can get those guys right. I trust Burns to do well. And looking at the Rockies as a road dog, they've covered 7 out of 27 games on the +1.5. And for the Brewers, the games they've won as a favorite, there's 40 of them. They've covered the run line in 27. So I took the run line. You get -125. You can make it a -1 if you like. Ralph also tweeted out that good stat. I'm going to just read it right here. It's the first game after the All-Star break. Favorites of -130 or more that lost their last 2 games. They're 17-1. And that's the Brewers today. So if you want to make a -1 line, I think that's a good way to do it as well. So Brewers will be the play for me today, -1.5.
I know you're definitely a handicapper that likes to look at recent form, but when you got a pitcher like Burns on there, you're worried about recent form in the past couple of days. He's definitely a guy that you want to look towards. Your next game here, talk about some real good pitch as well. San Diego and New York, the Mets. What are your thoughts on that contest?
Yeah, this one is just really simplifying it for me. Yu Darvish, he's a guy I back consistently every time he's at the house. When he's on the road, not so much. 5.25 ERA. The Padres have only won 4 of his last 17 road starts. And the Mets, especially when you have Max Scherzer on the mound, you got to trust him. His last 31 in the 3rd innings, he's given up 6 runs. So the Mets are the number 1 first 5 team, especially at the house. I have them as 28-6-9. After they lost as a favorite, they're 8-1 on the first 5 run line. So I want to back Max at the house, and I want to fade you on the road. So Mets first 5, -0.5 a run, -125 is my play for this game.
Yeah, I just want to ask you because we were just talking with Rob about how many hours it takes to handicap a card, especially a sport like baseball and how many games there are. But of course, some days you wake up and you see certain pitchers, like Burns or Scherzer or certain guys, Darvish, you're talking about, those guys obviously stick out. What can you say about kind of betting on these guys? And obviously you're getting inflated numbers with them quite a bit, but are you someone that looks at that pitcher, you try and bet on certain pitchers consistently, or it's all about the matchup?
Absolutely. I can go down a list that when I wake up, that's the first thing I'm looking at. Who are the starting pitchers on the mound? Because a lot of different situations. For instance, I've been fading Kikuchi for 3 years, 4 years, whatever it's been, whether you bet the over or you bet against him. This year, you back Rich Hill at home. You back you at home. You back Burns in general. You back Sandy in general. Like every single day, yes, I'm looking at the starting pitchers. And that's why I play a lot of first 5s. But I also will look at the bullpen and sometimes trust them full game.
Skee Profit, everybody. Hakeem, what do you got going for the clients?
Well, so far, I've only made 2 plays today. I shared them both with you. I will have more throughout the day. In about 30 minutes, I'll be on Spotify Live with Mr. Rob Veno. So if you want to hear us break down the rest of the card, come check it out.
Beautiful, outstanding stuff. Skee Profit, everyone. And guys, please remember, all packages at WagerTalk.com until the end of the month are half price. The regular package is $25. It's $12.50. I'm absolutely rolling in baseball. I won again last night. Listen, I'm not throwing out a lot of 5% plays. And, Andrew can tell you this. You get lost on the site. There's 25, 30 handicappers on the site. Most of the customers want to buy these 5% plays, and I understand that. I've only had 1 in baseball all year. So I you get lost inside of a group of 30 incredibly awesome handicappers, but please, my baseball season's just been outstanding, start to finish. I won my last 2 games, and I do have one up tonight. It's $12.50.
It's important to mention
Jimmy,
that, Prez. It's really
what?
it's important to mention that because the 4% plays, they mean something too. 3% plays, they mean something too. And I think it's a good segue into bringing Jimmy Adams onto the show because he has had an unbelievable year with 5% plays, but it doesn't mean people shouldn't grab his 4% plays, 3% plays as well. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, from my perspective, people ask me, how would you buy handicappers? And, I wouldn't be buying, whoever is a 5% is who I'm buying. I'm buying guys for 3-day periods, a week period, a month period. Jimmy Adams, and let's bring him in. He's up 76% return on investment. Jimmy, 76% return on investment in baseball. I understand you're on a 15-2, 5% run, but a 15-2, 5% run doesn't make 76 units. Yeah. You're still winning your 3s and your 4s.
Right. No, it's not all about the 5%ers, and I know that clients absolutely love them, and we try and top plays and give them out when we can. But like you said, I mean, we're topping 66% since mid-May. So if you're on board for all of that, then you're really making money. And I'll take it a step further. Subscriptions are the way to go because oftentimes I'll release a play and that line's going to be gone within like hours or if not the next day. I'll release a play the night before. And so my clients, my subscribers are going to get the best number down. You're going to get the best ROI. So best to be a subscriber for sure. And it's cheaper.
Yeah, no, 100%. But you do have a 5% play up tonight, and you are on a 15-2 run, right?
Yep, 15-2, and saw a play that I love tonight. But I'm going to give you a couple free plays as well, including one that is a client play. So we can jump into those as well.
Yeah, let's go. You want to talk about the Phillies versus the Cubs? I'll hand the mic to you.
Yeah, perfect. So this is my client play. 3% free play over at WagerTalk. So the Phillies won 3 straight heading into the break. They swept the Marlins, and I saw this line kind of ticking down and kind of come back a little bit, sitting around 130 the last time I checked, and I still think it's a little bit too low. You got Kyle Gibson, who I'm a fan of, off back-to-back gems, 1 run in 6 innings of work last time out. That was against said Marlins that I just mentioned. And then no runs in 7 innings on 2 hits without a walk the start before against a Cardinals team that I've been pretty impressed with the last few weeks. I watched that series against the Dodgers that they had right before the break, and the Cardinals offense is coming alive. So a couple impressive starts out of Kyle Gibson. Phillies runs per game, 8th in ERA. Cubs 20th in runs per game, 25th in ERA. And this Chicago team, I want nothing to do with them right now. They've lost 9 of 10. Justin Steele, he really has anything special with his 4.15 ERA. And even if he throws a good game, the Cubs don't have a very good bullpen. So I want nothing to do with Chicago. I'm going to play the Phillies tonight at around -130.
Andrew?
Great stuff there, Jimmy. Let's jump to Dodgers and Giants here, the second game you're going to talk to us about. And man, what a roller game that was last night between these two clubs. I mean, I had the Dodgers, Jimmy, so I ended up ultimately being pretty happy. But that is an up and down ball game if I've ever seen one, an entertaining one for sure. This game in particular, I want to ask you, is this, you got some good pitchers on the mound here, but I want to ask you, are you isolating full game or first 5? Are you going full game? You got a total you're looking at? What are your thoughts here? And also, I got to ask, I mean, playing at making a bet after a roller coaster type game that we saw last night, does that ever bother you? I mean, one team had the lead, then they blew it. The other team had the lead. Is that hard for you, or every day is a new day?
Yeah. So I mean, you make some great points. So I'm going to be rolling with the Dodgers. First of all, that was a crazy game. You must have been. They gave up the lead, then they walk up. They walk the batter to give away the lead, and then Mookie Betts hits the shot. So yeah, just a tremendous win by the Dodgers. And that's going to kind of tie into my point. But to answer your question real quick, I don't think it's going to have a big impact tonight because LA is going to be rocking. It's Friday night. These fans are unbelievable. I don't think it's going to affect the Dodgers rivalry game. So I do not think it'll affect them that much. Dodgers second in runs per game and first in ERA. That's a pretty darn good combination. There's a reason why LA is far and away the best run line team in the league because they win games, and when they win games, they tend to win by a lot. We do have a great pitching matchup. We got Tyler Anderson and Logan Webb, and I don't have a bad thing to say about Logan Webb. The difference in this game for me is the offenses. LA's offense, as you saw last night, they hit you again and again and again all game. You got Mookie Betts, then you got Freddie Freeman, who is one of the best hitters in baseball. I mean, you cannot defend this guy. A lot of guys complain about the shift and these batters that can't, put the ball in play the other way. Well, Freddie Freeman can hit the ball hard the other way. If you play him that way, he can pull the ball. So if you get past those guys, then you got Trey Turner, one of the best hitters in baseball, and it just goes on and on. They just keep punching you in the mouth. And they've got the starting pitching to go along with it. So they've now won 5 straight and 12 of 13. No surprise there. You're not going to get them in this price very often. So when you can, I'm going to go ahead and put some money on the Dodgers tonight.
Beautiful stuff. Jimmy Adams, everyone. And remember, Jimmy has a 5% play up tonight. He's on a 15-2 run in 5% plays. And also Kyle Anthony, he's still the $2 Tuesday handicapper, and his play is still up as well. Jimmy, awesome stuff, man. Love having you on. We'll see you next week. David Gary asks if I'm joining the Circa Survivor pool. Yes, I am. I'm going to be joining a whole lot of those contests. That's it for the show, guys. Teddy is back on Monday. We're back full swing. We're going to be talking a lot of baseball, some NFL, some college football starting next week. Andrew, my brother, I got to go eat. Take us home.
Awesome stuff. I just want to thank Prez for letting me be a co-host here on the show. Thank you to Rob Veno, Skee Profit, and of course, Jimmy Adams for joining us here on WagerTalk today. And on behalf of all of those guys, I'm Andrew, and we'll see you next week.
With football around the corner, time to start building up that bankroll. And we want to help by slashing the cost of all daily picks packages priced at $25 or more, including 5% best bets through the end of July. This amazing promotion runs from Tuesday, July 12th to midnight on Sunday, July 31st, and drops the pricing down to $25 daily packages for $12.50, $29 daily combo packages for $14.50, and $35 5% best bets for $17.50. But even better, this is the perfect time to take advantage of our one-day all-access pass. This package locks in the handicapper of your choice for one whole day for only $39, including when they have a 5% top play that usually sells for $35. But during our 50% slash promotion, you get a one-day all-access for only $19.50. We know this business is loaded with competitors and copycats, and we are very proud and extremely excited to be one of, if not, the premier sports betting information provider in North America. Our special discount pricing goes live on Tuesday, runs through the end of the month, does not require a coupon, and is available just by going to your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo Handicappers homepage right now.